Hello and welcome to this bonus episode of Weight Loss 360 with Boots Online Doctor. I'm Helen Thorne, I'm a comedian and podcaster, and today Dr Sam Welapilli, our resident holistic weight loss expert, is shedding light on the influence of gratitude and the surprising effect it can have on our weight loss journey. Hello Sam, welcome back.
Hi Helen.
I'm very grateful you're here. I'm expressing gratitude from the very beginning, okay?
Perfect. A perfect introduction. Thank you. It's a fantastic topic, one of my favourite topics, so I'm really happy to be here talking today.
It's one of those buzzwords, isn't it, that has been bandied about in the last few years. And I think some of us feel a little bit, maybe a bit cringy, or it's a bit overwhelming to begin with, because I think culturally we're very, oh, don't worry about me. Oh, no, this terrible dress. We self-deprecate as that's our default.
Yeah.
So when you say gratitude, you think, oh, is it a bit woo-woo? Is it a bit memes with sunsets and things like that? But again, we're here to myth bust and really focus on how effective it is.
Absolutely. We're going to go into this because there is actually good evidence behind the practice of gratitude, and remembering that this is our personal journey. This is a 360 weight loss journey. And you might be asking yourselves, what has gratitude got to do with my weight loss journey? But we're going to talk about that now. In any period of transition, of change, of transformation, whatever you want to call it, and 360 weight loss is exactly that. Being grateful for people, for opportunities, for our resources can have a really big impact. And it might not be a direct impact on your waistline, on your weight loss, but through the series we've talked about the many factors that combine to influence us on our way to a healthy weight: our stress, our sleep, our mindset and our self-talk, and how vital these are when it comes to long-term sustainable change. And there is good evidence to support gratitude and a regular conscious practice of being thankful having a real impact on these elements.
I, as all my friends know, I get excited about sunrises and flowers and having cheese in the fridge. Like you practice gratitude unconsciously, but you're talking about how when you consciously do it, it has a bigger impact.
And then it becomes an automatic habit.
So I think we sort of think about gratitude in a sort of a woo-woo sense, right? Things get bandied around social media and like, oh, just be grateful. But there's some hardcore science behind this, isn't there, Sam? I want to hear some facts.
Yes, and it's really impressive, actually. I'm going to read this. There was a meta-analysis, which is basically an overview of 70 studies, which included responses from more than 26,000.
That's a lot of people, Sam.
That's a lot of people. And it found an association between higher levels of gratitude and lower levels of depression. Depression is something that really can be a factor on a weight loss journey. So how incredible that this very human, very almost, I will say, use the word simple. I don't want to say easy, because for some of us it might not be so easy, but it's a simple practice, bringing in gratitude and doing it step by step. But it can actually reduce depression symptoms. And it was shown in this study that people with that grateful mindset actually have a higher satisfaction with life, stronger social relationships, and more self-esteem than those that don't have a gratitude practice. So this is all from that study, or that meta-analysis. It's fascinating stuff. Loads of us will know that when we're stressed and we feel reactive, we can make poor food and drink choices. I think we know that, and we've talked about that in previous episodes. Think about the last time you might have overeaten. How were you feeling? Were you feeling peaceful? Did you notice how you were feeling at that time? So gratitude really can help to decompress us, and in this calmer state we can make healthier choices about our eating.
I heard recently a really lovely, easy way of feeling gratitude was when you're on a weight loss journey, or when you're trying to make these changes, that instead of saying, oh, I have to have this salad, or I have to have this soup, say, I get to have this. Those sort of things. There can be like tiny little changes about, oh, I'm excited about that. And I know when you're tired and stressed, and especially I'm talking about being a tired mum of young children back in the day, there was very little I felt grateful for. There would have been slim things.
Yeah.
But I think it doesn't have to be big, does it?
Absolutely. And it can be really simple. But it's about having that cognitive effort of picking the thing that you're grateful for, but really feeling it. It's head and heart, if you like. So it's that mind and body connection of that feeling of gratitude. So for example, oh, I'm so grateful that, my shampoo smells amazing. I'm really grateful for it. Maybe the taste of that fresh orange I had this morning. Oh, it was so delicious. I'm so grateful I got to experience that. So as I said, it's not necessarily a direct impact on your weight loss, but it impacts so many other things that influence your weight loss journey that it's just could be an amazing tool in your kit bag.
I was going to ask just on a practical level, because we talk about practising. What are ways in which you can practice gratitude? Do you have to have a special book? Do you have to do it at a special time? I want some facts. Give me some advice.
Well, yes, you could do a gratitude journal. If it helps to make things regular, I think, because you want to try and make this a daily practice. It might be that as you get to do it more and you enjoy it more, you might just want to do it all the time and you don't need a book. But I think starting with a book is fantastic. And it's often a way to close down the day, I think is really nice. So we're going to be talking about sleep in one of these episodes. So it's a really nice way, I think, to close off the day. So before bed, you have a notebook or paper, or you use your phone. If you're going to bed, I'd rather you didn't use your phone because you don't want to be looking at a screen, but paper and pen is fine. And it's nice to have a nice book if you can find one, if you wish to do it that way. And just think of 3 things. And what I suggest on this 360 weight loss journey is 2 things, a kind of general thing. So it could be the coziness of your slippers. It could be the breeze rustling through the trees outside your window, and just really appreciating those and feeling gratitude for those things. It could be your kids, it could be your partner, it could be your lovely dinner, all of those things, whatever you feel in that moment. But I would make the 3rd thing something to do with your weight loss journey.
Yeah, I was going to say that because that's such a lovely thing, because you can track that progress about this morning I got out of bed and I didn't feel stiff and sore.
Yeah, and I felt energised, or I didn't reach for that chocolate bar at the supermarket checkout this evening. And that's a win. So we talk all through this series about celebrating ourselves as we start noticing the changes in our behaviour. So let's bring that into our gratitude as well. So it's a powerful thing. As you develop your practice, I think this will come more naturally to you.
Now, I know there'll be people struggling out there, even just to begin with gratitude, but also in their weight loss journey. And it can feel like a really hard negative thing. And so it's hard to start to feel grateful for it. What are some examples people could focus on, Sam?
Yeah, and we recognise that our listeners will be at all different places in their journeys. Examples might be, I'm grateful I resisted the sweets at the supermarket checkout today, or I'm grateful I'm educating myself and I'm learning about myself and my physiology and how I'm going to really go step by step on this journey. I'm learning to be kind to myself, or I'm recognising the autopilot behaviours that I have, or I'm grateful that the warm chicken salad that I had at lunchtime really filled me up, and I'm noticing the benefit of having protein in my meals.
I think, things like feelings are really good. Like I felt really happy on my walk today, or sharing this food with my family brought me joy. Even things like I added more protein to my breakfast, which I haven't done before. And we're not saying you're not allowed to be angry. You're not saying you're not allowed to be sad. And I think they coexist.
Very valid emotions, completely.
Yeah. And there's a lovely saying is that better an empty house than a bad tenant in terms of your anger or your frustrations.
Yeah.
Go for that walk. When I was going through therapy, my therapist suggested I do a bit of shouting in the woods, letting that out. You allow the gratitude to be let back in again.
And then be grateful, wow, I got this great advice from
I
my
had
therapist.
a really good swear in my park.
and I got to release all that pent-up tension. And you can be grateful for that. It's a valid process, and there's many ways that we can release. I'm not saying in any way that anger is bad or frustration is bad. They're just things that we need to be able to process.
Yeah, and they all coexist, I think.
And I think gratitude can just take the heat out a little bit, and just, okay, let's reframe. Let's figure out a way to process this. Maybe it's going into the woods and doing some shouting or punching this pillow for a bit, whatever it might be.
So, Sam, we've heard a bit of the science and we know it's good for us. We know that being kind to ourselves has a positive impact. But how does that actually impact on weight loss? How does that help us achieve our goals?
We can think about our practice of gratitude being a way that we look at our lives, the things around us, the people around us, our resources. And when we start to reframe things, look at things more positively, being thankful for things, it changes the way we speak to ourselves. We start to notice our self-talk can be different, kinder, our self-esteem can improve. We can really start to change the way we think. And this is a process. So, we go step by step, but we really start to see that self-compassion growing when we start to develop a gratitude practice, because we are moving away from that fight or flight state where we're quite uptight and wound really tight to being more in that rest, digest, heal state, which is a much more calm state, and we allow ourselves to be who we are on our journey. I think we have a lot more softness towards ourselves because I know on these journeys of weight loss, of transformation, sometimes we can be really hard on ourselves. We can really beat ourselves up. And I know that when we start to reframe with that attitude of gratitude, that really softens. And you will start noticing the difference. So I warmly encourage our listeners to start a gratitude practice and to really notice the difference it makes to you, because you'll start looking at things in a different way.
I was going to ask, you're a GP, you're a doctor, when you're in fight or flight mode, so that's when you're feeling stressed, you're getting all those hormones, is it a myth that you hang on to your fat more? Like your body goes into that sort of, I need to hold on to the fat more, because that was a thing I was told. So I'm going to, since this is a myth-busting podcast, is that true?
Well, basically, when you have all those hormones like cortisol moving around the body and zooming around, it has its purpose. All these hormones, these stress hormones have their purpose. But sometimes when we're in a state of chronic stress, our fat deposition, where the fat gets stored on our body, can change, and we get that central fat deposition, so that fat around our tummies, around our middle, and around the organs of our abdomen.
Is that visceral fat?
Visceral fat, exactly.
Look at me, I'm learning things,
Very
Sam.
good. So that kind of fat deposition is associated with all sorts of metabolic problems, heart health, strokes, all our risks go up. Unfortunately, diabetes, that kind of thing. So it's not great for our metabolic health. So we want to avoid that chronic stress as much as possible. And this is a great tool for stress relief. We know that gratitude, compassion, joy, we're focusing on gratitude here, moves that dial from fight, flight, freeze to rest, digest, heal, because we exist in this continuum. We need our fight and flight system. We do.
Nobody can be chilled out all the time.
No, and we need to get things done. We have lives, we have commitments, we have responsibilities. That's understandable. But we need to be able to relax and move that dial too.
Brilliant. Well, I feel very grateful for doing this podcast. And again, thank you to Dr. Sam for all that wise and warm advice. Weight Loss 360 is a Fresh Air production with Boots Online Doctor. The producer is Ollie Seymour. Thanks for listening, everyone. We're here to cheer you on, so remember to follow Weight Loss 360 wherever you listen to your podcasts. Next week, we'll be joined by Dr. David Gwynn for a deep dive into drinks and hydration and how important they can be for a successful weight loss journey. Make sure you check out Boots Online Doctor Weight Loss Service for a whole load of other amazing advice and free resources, including a weekly live webinar where our experts can answer your questions. The information shared here is evidence-based to help you achieve and maintain weight loss. However, if you have any health concerns or questions, please consult your GP before making any changes to your diet or lifestyle. Remember, every small change is a big step towards a healthier, happier you.